Hi, I'm Jim Benson, and I work in the product marketing group at Juniper Networks and support our mobile business. Over roughly the next 15 to 20 minutes, I will provide an overview of the Juniper Mobile Cloud Architecture, which is a cloud-based IP architecture or platform, and show you how it lays a solid foundation for a next-gen, secure, distributed telco cloud. It is the 5 solution areas of the mobile cloud architecture, all available today, that can future-proof a service provider's mobile network for 5G and IoT. This next slide shows a summary of the key mobile network challenges and trends through 2020. On the left side, you can see the business drivers. On the right side, you can see the technology trends. I will only touch upon a few in this presentation. Looking at the upper left corner, the first business driver, service providers are trying to find ways to enable new revenue opportunities and manage both CapEx and OpEx with the shift to a 5G and IoT environment. Now, if you look down in the same box to the fifth bullet, definitely low latency applications are pushing service providers toward a more distributed architecture. So you can see written here, one of the hot ones today is the self-driving car, remote healthcare, and also industrial control systems. For industrial control systems, safety is a concern, which is why low latency is needed. So again, this is a big driver pushing service providers toward a distributed architecture. I would say one of the other big ones is there's going to be so much traffic on the network. There's definitely a goal of service providers to minimize the amount of traffic that gets backhauled to a centralized location. Now, if we look at the second to last business driver, there's definitely an increase in security threat volume and attack sophistication today. So really, perimeter security, which is what is predominant today, is no longer sufficient. Now, if we look to the technology trends box, the first one is there's definitely a trend, as I mentioned, toward a highly distributed telco cloud. And you can see some acronyms here. MCORD, which stands for Mobile Central Office Re-architected as a Data Center. NGCO, which stands for Next Generation Central Office. MEC, which most people know as Mobile Edge Computing. Etsy recently renamed this to Multi-Access Edge Computing. Distributed EPC, or Distributed Evolved Packet Core, and also Distributed GI-LAN services. At Juniper, we feel service providers are well positioned for IoT and 5G, and this is in large part because they have some very prime real estate with their COs and switching centers located so close to the end user. However, this network transformation presents significant challenges for the service provider, and this is where we feel Juniper can help. We offer solutions, including both products and services that are part of the mobile cloud architecture that can help service providers with this major network transformation. Also, if you look at the third bullet point down in technology trends, convergence is going on today and will only pick up momentum. So the same assets are being used today for wireless and wireline, and we actually feel that this positions Juniper very well since we have many wireline deployments with service providers. So we feel that we're well positioned for future mobile infrastructure deployments. Now this next slide here shows really what's pushing service providers toward a secure distributed telco cloud. So on the left you can see the drivers, specifically traffic growth and also revenue and margin pressures that service providers are feeling more and more each day. On the right you can see the service provider response in blue. To the right of that in green you can see some of the key network requirements. Specifically we talked about higher bandwidth and lower latency. And then to the right of that, you can see really the specific network equipment and architecture impact. And this is really pushing service providers towards a major network transformation, which is our distributed telco cloud architecture. So let's take a look at what I would call a mobile network today. And this is a generalization. There are definitely variations of this depending on the service provider, and this is a very simple diagram on purpose, but you can see looking at the bottom you have an enterprise site, You can have what we're calling HetNet sites, which can consist of both macro and small cells. To the right of that, they're connected to an A&A network or an access and aggregation network. Connected to that could be a METSO, a mobile telephone switching office. Connected to the A&A network is a core network, which could consist of one or more regional data centers and also one or more centralized data centers. And the core network you see here is attached to an internet roaming network. So what are the typical solutions that service providers have today? And again, this is a generalization. There are definitely service providers that are further along than others, but I think it's fair to say, starting at the bottom, that most packet and optical networks are separate. For the most part, service providers have an architecture with centralized data centers. Service providers mostly using physical network functions today, and there are some that are definitely further along than others in terms of virtualization. For the most part today, security is at the perimeters, and also EMS plus OSS, BSS systems today are mostly manual. So how is this evolving over time? So with the introduction of LTE-A or LTE Advanced and the promise of 5G and IoT, you can see that there will be a major network evolution. If you look at the bottom diagram, let's start from left to right. You can see with the writing in green font on the left side that definitely data center and compute resources are getting distributed closer to the radio access network to take full advantage of disaggregation and virtualization. And here you can see the three, I would call them pizza box type nodes, one at the enterprise site, one at the HetNet site, and one at a site we're calling distributed compute node. This could be something like a pre-ag site or an IP-ag site. And then if you look to the right, you can see connected to the access and aggregation network is a distributed data center. There could be one or more of these. You also can see an evolution from what was previously a METSO or a mobile telephone switching office to become a next generation central office. Now, if you look at the bottom of the diagram, as I mentioned earlier, there's definitely a trend toward convergence of wireline and wireless assets, and that includes both the network and the data centers. Now, if we look, how are the solution areas going to have to evolve to support this distributed architecture? And this is, here you can see the 5 solution areas that actually is what we're calling Juniper's mobile cloud architecture. Starting at the bottom, we're definitely moving from more toward an integrated packet optical approach, also with some new timing requirements that are introduced with LTE-A and 5G. There's definitely some new needs in the timing area. We're definitely moving, as I mentioned, from centralized data centers to a more distributed approach or distributed data centers. With the introduction of NFV and virtualization, there's definitely a trend toward virtualizing more network functions. That's what we're calling disaggregation and virtualization. As I mentioned, security at the perimeters is no longer sufficient, so service providers are going to have to move toward an approach that offers security everywhere. And also, in order to keep costs down, specifically OpEx, what were previously manual systems are going to have to become automated. And that's the area of the mobile cloud architecture that we're calling automated control and orchestration. And this architecture will support, Juniper's architecture, mobile cloud architecture, will support all of the key use cases. We also complement our solutions with a very strong partner ecosystem. And with such a major network transformation, services will play a key role, and Juniper has a very strong services organization to help service providers. So on this slide really shows a nice summary of the value proposition of Juniper's mobile cloud architecture. So starting at the bottom, integrated packet optical and timing solutions. Juniper offers integrated solutions from a global leader and innovator in packet networking. We're well known for our router portfolio, and that includes ACX, MX, PTX, and also we're well known for our optical data center interconnect capabilities. And this is with our BTI product line, which came from the recent acquisition of BTI Systems. In the area of distributed data centers, Juniper offers complete automated and secure solutions for many data centers. This could be what I mentioned before as a pizza box or a very small network element. It could be at the enterprise site, the HetNet site, or a pre-ag or an IP-ag site, to very large-scale data centers in the core. And this would be typically a deployment of QFX switches. In the area of disaggregation and virtualization, Juniper is definitely a pioneer in utilizing an open framework to ensure a seamless migration to carrier-grade NFV. So today we offer many of our products in virtualized form. So available today we have a VSRX security product. We have a CSRX product, which is containerized security product. We have VMX, which is our virtualized routing product. And also Contrail supports this environment by being integrated, tested, and certified with many third-party VNFs or virtual network functions. Security everywhere. Juniper offers the industry's most innovative and comprehensive platform to secure the distributed telco cloud. And this is with what we're calling our SDSN solution, which stands for Software Defined Secure Network Solution. In the area of automated control and orchestration, Juniper offers the industry's most deployed SDN solution. This is our Contrail solution for multi-vendor and multi-layer network automation. So this architecture, Juniper's mobile cloud architecture, supports all the key mobile use cases today and in the near future. As mentioned, we offer a best-of-breed partner ecosystem to complement our own solutions. And with our very large and capable services organization, we offer best-in-class lifecycle service and support. So let's briefly touch upon the 5 solution areas that make up the Juniper Mobile Cloud Architecture. So let's start with the first one. We're calling Solution 1, Integrated Packet Optical and Timing Solutions. Here you can see in the diagram in blue background the areas that this solution area touches upon within the network. So you can see this area covers the enterprise site, the HetNet sites, the access and aggregation network, the core network, and the internet and roaming network. In the lower left, you can see the products that support this solution area, specifically the ACX series, which is our line of universal access routers, the MX series, which is our line of universal edge routers, PTX series, which is our line of packet transport routers, the QFX series, which is our line of data center switches, BTI series, which I mentioned before, provides packet optical transport solutions. And also we have an optical transport manager, which we call ProNX Services Manager. And then our Junos portfolio. We offer Junos Space, in this case Connectivity Services Director, and also our Northstar solution, which is a multi-layer WAN SDN controller. We also offer various services in this solution area. So specifically here, just a few mentioned. One is Metro Network Design Service. The second one, Network Modernization Assessment Service. And the last one listed here, MPLS Assessment Service. Let's look at solution area number 2, which we're calling distributed data centers. You can see in the diagram the areas of the network or architecture that this solution area touches upon, and it ranges from using what we might call a micro data center at the enterprise site. This is that pizza box node I mentioned. Also at the HetNet site, and also at the distributed compute node. And this would typically be our NFX series product line. Now, as you move to the right in the diagram, we also support in this solution area distributed data centers, the next generation central office, regional data centers, and also centralized data centers. And this is with some of our other product lines, specifically QFX. You can see some of the network functions that are supported in this area: MEC, looking at the bar, horizontal bar at the top, S gateway, P gateway, firewall, NAT, VPN. Similar to the other slide, the previous slide, you can see the product lines that support this solution area on the left side. As I mentioned, the NFX series, which is our network services platform, our QFX series, which is our data center switches, EX series, which are our Ethernet switches, MX series, which are our universal edge routers, and also this is supported by Contrail Cloud and networking, and also Contrail service orchestration. In the lower part of the screen, you can see some of the services, just a subset of the services that we offer in this solution area. Specifically here, you can see we offer automated data center deployment service. We also offer a data center security assessment service. And there are many others. This is just a subset to give you an idea. Let's look at solution area 3 of the mobile cloud architecture. This is the solution we're calling disaggregation and virtualization. Like the other slides, you can see in the diagram the area of the network where this solution area touches. And you can see it touches pretty much the application layer all the way from the enterprise side and the HetNet side all the way into the core network. Specifically, as I mentioned before, we offer a virtual SRX, that's our virtual security product, CSRX, which is our containerized virtual security product, VMX, which is our virtual router, and also, as I mentioned before, Contrail is integrated with many third-party vendor VNFs, virtual network functions. You can see across the horizontal bar, across the top, some of the things that we support, specifically called out here: MEC applications, virtual EPC, and this is through a partnership, virtual firewall, NAT, VPN, virtual routing. In the lower left, you can see the product areas or the products that Juniper offers in this solution area. Already talked about VSRX, CSRX, VMX. Also talked about Contrail called out here, Contrail service orchestration, Contrail cloud plus networking, our Juno Space portfolio, which includes connectivity services director, network director, and security director, and also our Junos OS platform. A subset of the services that we offer for this solution area include VNF onboarding and lifecycle services, OpenStack, Contrail Cloud, and virtualized containerized SRX architecture design and deployment services. Moving to the fourth solution area of the mobile cloud architecture, which we call security everywhere. You can see here on the diagram the areas of the network, areas of the architecture that this solution area touches upon, ranging from the enterprise site and the HetNet site all the way through the core network. And this sits at the application, what we're calling the application enablement layer. Some of the functions that are supported with our security solutions include IPsec, security gateway, firewall, NAT, VPN. Lower left, you can see our portfolio of security products. In general, Juniper's strategy, as I mentioned, or approach is towards software-defined secure networking, which provides security everywhere. Now, specifically, our products called out here, SRX series, which are our services gateways, VSRX, which is our virtual firewall, Sky ATP, which offers advanced threat protection, and also Juno Space Security Director. Now, a subset of the services that we offer in this solution area are security and SDSN assessment and deployment services, security VNF testing and deployment services, and again, there are many others. This is just a subset to give you an idea. Last but not least, this is solution 5 of the mobile cloud architecture story or framework called automated control and orchestration. Pretty much this solution area touches all parts of the network, as you can see with the diagram colored mostly in dark blue color. Some of the functions that are supported by with our automated control and orchestration solutions include SDN underlay controller, SDN overlay controller, service orchestration, as well as OSS and EMS. Lower left, you can see the products that support the solution area include Contrail service orchestration, Contrail cloud plus networking, Northstar, which is our multi-layer WAN SDN underlay controller, Junos OS, Junos Space, which includes Connectivity Services Director, Network Director, Security Director, and Service Insight, and also our Optical Transport Manager, which we call ProNX Services Manager. Similar to the other slides, you can see a subset of the services that we offer in this solution area, specifically Contrail configuration and implementation services, and also Northstar controller adoption assessment. So let's talk a little bit about use cases. Some of the key use cases you hear in the mobile industry today include, starting from the right side, MEC, mobile edge computing. As I mentioned previously, this was recently renamed by Etsy to capture the true meaning of it, which is that it supports also wireline access, now called multi-access edge computing. Distributed RAN, which is the predominant type of backhaul today. We're definitely moving toward centralized RAN, which is basically centralizing the BBUs. And then once the BBUs or broadband base units are centralized, these can be virtualized and put on x86 processors. And another key use case, last but not least, there are many others I'm calling out here, is SDN and automation. As I mentioned before, Juniper complements its mobile cloud architecture solutions by working with many partners, many best-of-breed partners, and you can see 8 of them listed here and what capabilities they provide with a joint solution with Juniper. I would say the most active relationships in the mobile space right now are with Affirm Networks. They offer a virtual EPC and GI LAN services. We're also actively working in the MEC space with a company called Saguna. They offer an open RAN mobile edge computing platform. And you can see some of the other partnerships and what they offer in a joint solution here on this slide. Let's move and talk a little bit about the services that we offer that support the mobile cloud architecture story. I would definitely say that, as I mentioned before, with such a major network transformation that is starting today and will continue in the next few years, services organizations of vendors will play a key role in helping service providers seamlessly migrate, or to the extent possible, seamlessly migrate their networks to support a distributed telco cloud type architecture. So definitely service providers will have to team up with vendors that they trust that can help them get through this very significant migration of their networks. Here you can see Juniper offers really a full suite or portfolio of services, from planning stages to the building stage to the operation of the network stage. So again, Juniper likes to partner very closely with service providers to help them become successful or help them successfully make this network transformation. At the bottom of this PowerPoint, you can see that Juniper also offers through Juniper University education services, and here you can see various services: solution workshop, automation, SDN fundamentals, design, etc. So this is the same slide that I showed earlier, which was really the high level value proposition of Juniper's mobile cloud architecture, and specifically how we feel we are differentiated in each of the 5 solution areas that I mentioned here. Um, I would say I'd encourage you to review. We have detailed presentations on each of these 5 solution areas, so I would encourage you to look at those, review those, and please reach out to your Juniper sales representative to find out more information on how Juniper can help service providers with this major network transformation that we will see over the next few years. Thank you for your time.